everything is when you think about those who are going to win in sales, the people who are going to win in sales are the people who are great communicators, the ones who communicate, the ones who take initiative to do it. Okay, you know, and I've said this before. The World Wide Web, right? It's 99% consumers, people who consume content. So you get on your computer, you go to Netflix, you find out what time a movie starts, you get directions, you go buy some shit off of you know, eBay, or you know, you get, you know, you buy a car, you look at prices on car, you look at prices on real estate, you find out what mortgages are going for, you look at books. Like for me, I'm looking up mortgage credit certificates right now. You know, we go and we consume information. That's 99% of the people do. 1% of the people on the World Wide Web are those who create content and for others to consume. So in sales, where do you want to be? Do you want to be the 99% who consumes, or do you want to be the 1% who creates? It's really all about creating content, looking at things differently, you know, just kind of being outside of the box on this stuff. That's the most important place to be. And the only way to get there is to take the initiative, to go out there and do it. You know, like to boldly leave your office, the safe confines of your office, and march your ass right into another real estate office and sit down there and go in with a value proposition. That's what you have right now with Listing Booster. I can make your agents more successful only if you do this. You know, I can help you and I can help your team get better. Most real estate agents, like I said, guys, you know, they're looking for guidance at this point. You know, the whole idea of the brick and mortar buildings of yesterday are gone. So it's the loan officers who are going to take the initiative and go to those real estate offices and help them get more successful. You know, creating content, putting content up, doing it smartly. I mean, that's where we have to be. So last week I told you guys, you know, you have to do one of three things. In fact, no, you have to do all three things. With Listing Booster, what we need to do is we need to get the agents, because the agents have the listings, then we need to work the system. These are the two and only fundamental components of what Listing Booster does. Get the agents, work the system. That's all. Okay? The agents have the listings. When you work the system, you're using the listings. You're gathering eyeballs. All those eyeballs have to give you their information in order to look at the content, which is the listings. And once you get that content, it comes back to you in the form of a lead. There's a variety of different ways we can do that. But before we can work the system, we have to get the agents who have the listings. So last week I told you, do three things in this order. The first thing I told you, this is just a quick review. The first thing I told you was you need to go talk to the agents that you know and who call you their preferred lender. Okay? When you do that, they're going to say yes, because they're already getting most of their business. Okay? You're going to go to them, you're going to give them your short speech, not your long speech. Hey, I got this great system, and it's going to help you pull more listings from your listings and more leads from your listings. I'd like to give it a shot with you. What do you think? Okay? So the reason we start with those that know, like, and trust us and call us their preferred is because they're always going to say yes. Then we're on our way. We're moving. Those guys should be in there right away. Those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how many other agents you have. Then the second group of agents that you want to go to are those agents who you're familiar with, who maybe you used to work together, you get a deal here and there. You see them in the grocery store, you say, hi, how's your kids? That type of thing. We do that because most of them are going to say yes, and you're going to find some objections, but that's going to give you an opportunity to learn how to deal with the objections. The objections may be, my office already does this, and to which you say, well, marketing is not a one-ticket system. The more tickets you have, the better the chance that somebody calls one of them, right? So we offer more tickets. We also have smart televisions that's interactive that goes along with us that nobody else in the country has. So no, your company does not have what we have here. So not only does this create more marketing opportunities for you, it creates different marketing opportunities for you, and dare I say, better marketing opportunities for you. Why is that? Well, it's because we have lead capture. Before anybody can look at a single property website or a virtual tour, they have to give us their information before they see the content that they want. Now, we like this because if somebody's willing to give up their personal information on who they are, that means they're probably a little bit more serious than any other looky-loo who you might run across. Okay? So these are the type of objections. Oh, I already have a lender who I work with. Keep working with that lender. I don't care. He's wonderful. She's wonderful. Whatever. But if I generate something through our efforts, if we generate something through our efforts which are separate, could we just work these deals together? You know, that type of stuff. Now, some are going to say no, but remember, we're in sales. We're in an industry that's defined by failure, not by success. The third group that you're going to go to is you're going to go to sites like Trulia or Zillow, okay? You're going to go to like Trulia, and you're going to type in your city that you live in. I happen to live in the thriving metropolitan area of Cowtown, California, Vacaville. And then I can go through and I can click on any one of these properties. And when I do this, I get a list of agents, okay, who are all paying a lot of money to be up here. So I'm going to start calling these agents. I'm going to call Tom and Shawnee. I'm going to call Kim. I'm going to call Shireen Chandler. I got their phone numbers. I got where they work. I can actually go look them up on Facebook. I can find out what they like, what they dislike. I can find that common ground, so I'm going to have a higher probability of them saying yes. And if you notice here, guys, I, on Truly Alone in small Cowtown, California, have a total of 282 homes. I could also put in my surrounding cities, which would be, I could put in, I'm in Vacaville, but Fairfield's next to us, Napa's next to us, and Dixon's next to us, Davis is next to us, Vallejo's next to us. I could do all this area, so there are thousands of agents. You want a time block. You want to call these agents. You want to get them to say, yeah, I think I might want to look at a system that could help me out. Again, understanding that most people are going to say no. This is a great strategy because when you do it, you will meet agents who you do not know and who do not know you. Okay? That is hugely unpopular. That's hugely popular because you may be able to forge a relationship that can last beyond Listing Booster. You might find a real estate agent who you work with for 20 years. You know, you might find that you go into that office and just like we had down here with Michelle, maybe you go in there and you're talking with one agent. The one agent said, this is great. Why don't we do it for everybody in our office? Okay, so now you're presenting to multiple agents. You're not presenting to one agent. You get them all involved, and then you work the system. They become more successful. And again, only good things can happen to your business. Nothing bad can happen to your business. You can only make more money. You can only close more deals if you do this. Now, the other side is if you don't do it, you don't get less business, you get shit. You get nothing, okay? So the most important thing is to reach out to those agents. Know the system, talk to the agents who know you and call you preferred, then those ones who are on the fringe, and then you jump on Trulia or Zillow, and you just go through and start clicking on the houses, and you start calling these agents. Hey, how you doing? This is Brian Stevens over here at ABC Mortgage. I noticed you got a house that's located on Addington at Brighton Landings. Anyways, I know you're paying a lot of money to go ahead and generate business off of this with Trulia and Zillow. I have something that's going to cost basically nothing, and I think we can generate more leads off your listings, leads that aren't going to be stepped on by other agents. Would you like to have a conversation about it? No. Really, why not? You know, I don't have time. Can I call you later? No. Okay. All right, thanks a lot. Bye. Click. No. Why not? Because I already have systems like this. Well, hold on. This is just more tickets. You know, more tickets means you have a better chance of getting your number punched. You know, I mean, the internet is the universe. There's no beginning, there's no end. It's expansive. It's always growing, right? And so the more marketing pieces you can put in this universe, the higher the probability somebody's going to click on one of your things. And that's only going to help real estate agents out. So we need to do this. We need to build our agents up. Time block for an hour a day. Time block for 2 hours a day. Do this for 2 or 3 weeks. Do it for 4 weeks. Okay? Every single day. This is your business, guys. This isn't like that shit you do on the weekend. You know, this isn't finger painting. You know, this isn't playing ultimate frisbee with your friends. This is your job. This is your profession. So be a professional about it. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't. So you time block an hour or two each and every day. You do this for a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. You do it for a month. And at the end of the month, you will have more agents in your system than you have now. I know that for a fact, okay? You'll have agents in there who now know your name, okay, who don't know it today, but who will know it by next week. An agent who's going to be a future referral source for you, okay? If you don't do it, you don't have anything. So we have to get the agents, guys. We need to take the initiative. We need to not just watch this webinar and then go back and do the same crap we always do. And by the way, this is what everybody does. Hold on. you always hear the rule, and I speak with mortgage companies all the time. I mean, all the time. And it's all the same. You got 10 to 20% of your loan officers who are dog shit. You've got 60% who are okay, they're pretty good, and then you got 20% who are studs. Maybe you've got 5 of that 20% who are super studs, who totally kick ass. So it's the same thing with Listing Booster that we see. People who sign up for it, you got 20% who should have never done it because they're never going to do it, they're just going to complain. You get 60% who are okay, then you get 20% who are studs. So if we want to be like at the top of the rungs of our industry, that professional, these are the things that we need to do. So go talk to the agents. So a couple of points that I wanted to bring up today. Oh, and I just went through our numbers again. I find some of these things just remarkable. I saw we had a loan officer. Hold on, let me grab it. Oh, it's right here. So this last week, Andrew, you drew me up 2 reports yesterday, or 2 days ago. Is this for 1 day?
No, that's just all time.
No, this one's not all time.
Yeah,
This is an all-time one. What's this one right here?
they're both the same. One of them is just different.
Oh, this is Greg Peckman right here.
One is just portrait, and one is landscape.
Okay, but, oh, I see what you're saying here. Okay. So, let's see. Greg Peckman, 15,200 leads. April Gleason, 11,976. My eyesight's horrible. Scott Schuwerk, 10,783. Kevin Mitchell, 7,468. Jason Sykes, 7,346. These numbers they're just off the charts. And I know that a number of these people have had their account for, a year, under a year. I know for a fact that Greg Peckman hasn't had his account for a year, and he's got 15,200 leads. I know, and by the way, this is a direct report right from Listing Booster. So, lead generation is not the problem. Lead generation is not the problem. The problem is the bottleneck in conversion, but before we get there, I got to make sure that we have all of you guys to the same page where, these guys are. And the first steps are to go ahead and run those agents down. In all honesty, you want to have at least 20 real estate agents in there, and you want to have at least 100 listings. Okay, that's where you want to be. And if you're anything north of that, that's fantastic. But that's pretty much where you want to be. And by the way, when you're going through and using Truly, again, I can click on any one of these other sites. I don't know. Let's check this thing. Check this house here. Okay, so again, right here, Premier Agents. These guys are paying thousands to be here. Thousands of dollars. So, this gal right here, her name is Jackie Plata. She's a Premier Agent. She's had 33 recent sales. Here's her phone number. We can go look her up on Facebook, and we can find out everything we want to find out about Jackie Plata. Let's see. Does this seem intrusive? Absolutely. It's totally intrusive. Vacaville, here we go. There's Jackie. Oh, look I got mutual friends with her. So I could call her up. I could be like, hey, you know Bill? Oh, Jeanette. You're friends with Jeanette. Let's see what she likes. Let's see if we can find anything. Was it Vacaville? Oh. Okay. Let's see. She goes to In Shape. She's into motorcycles. She's into football. Kind of likes the blues, rock stuff. She's kind of a rocker girl. You can picture her right now, right? Rock music, football, back of a Harley Davidson, maybe the front of a Harley Davidson. We know what she likes. She'd be a great person to call. Let's call Jackie up and say, hey, Jackie, how you doing? Hey, by the way, Bill Allard's one of our mutual friends. I probably shouldn't bring this up, but Jeanette, our other friend, she was going to do our barbecue for us for an event that we did here locally. She just recently passed away. I don't know if I'd want to use that one, but you could. Oh, you know Bill Allard. He's a mutual friend of ours. Hey, listen. Anyways, I noticed you were a premier agent over here on Truly on a couple of these properties, and I noticed you have a couple listings yourself. And I was wondering, I have a great system that's going to allow you to generate more leads off the listings that you already have, or excuse me, more leads off the listings that you already have. I'm just right down the road from you. Is there a chance we might be able to talk sometime this next week? I create common ground with her. I know what she's into. Maybe I say something to the effect of, I can do it any day but Sunday because I always watch football on Sunday. Hey, listen, let's set this let's get together any day that's good for you. I can't do Sunday because I'm watching football. The 49ers are on. My God, they finally won a game. I already know she likes that, so I'm creating common ground stuff. Have a conversation with her. This Jackie Plata, who I don't know, I think there's a high probability I could have her in my listing booster system by the end of the week. And she does a whole bunch of calls. She does a whole bunch of business. So is that somebody who we probably want to talk to? And the answer is absolutely yes. And again, we could go through, time and time again with hundreds and hundreds of agents. Now, maybe me and Jackie fall out. It doesn't work. But maybe I talk with these guys over here, Jeff Link and Ronnie Link, and maybe we hit it off. I happen to know who they are. Ronnie and Jeff Link, they own a smaller office in Vacaville. They've got 10 agents. If I can get Ronnie and Jeff on board with me, I'm going to get all of their agents. So that would be a huge account for me. We got a team over here, the Michael Holsey team. Maybe we talk to Michael Holsey or one of his buyers. Again, he's got like 40 agents. What if I could sit down with Michael Holsey and say, hey, let's get all your agents and all your listings up on this stuff. There's 100 listings right there. Okay? So these are great conversations to have. Go knock on the door. Go to the real estate office. Find out information about these people. Get them into your system. Here's the great part about it, guys, and I've said this before. When you do this, it sucks because you're going to have a lot of people who say no. Okay? But the great part about it is it's only temporary. Because once you're done doing it, once you get the agents, you don't have to re-engage in this activity. We have to continue, servicing the relationships with our real estate agents and our referral partners. We have to continue rebooting the same problems. You solve, undocumented funds on one deal, and that deal closes, and next month you're dealing with undocumented funds again. So, in lending and real estate, we deal with stuff which is repetitive in nature. Excuse me. But this is an activity that you only have to do once. Okay? But if you do it, it could affect your business for the rest of your career. So my God, if there's anything you should do, start reaching out to these agents and don't wait till tomorrow. Don't say people nest. And I'm going to get on with a couple of our points here real quickly, but I was having a conversation with somebody a couple of days ago. And he was a mortgage manager for like 75 loan officers. And he said, everybody right about now starts going, people are nesting. They're not looking at buying houses right now. People are nesting right now. It's like they're getting ready for Christmas. They're getting ready for Thanksgiving. They're not thinking of moving. So this is a slow time of year. Has it ever occurred to you that maybe it's your mindset that makes it the slow time of year? Maybe it has nothing to do with the people buying and selling houses. Maybe it's that we start to pull back our efforts because we're thinking about Christmas and we're thinking about Thanksgiving, and we justify our lack of effort by saying, well, nobody else is doing anything. I mean, is that a possibility? Do we start to pull back? I know I'm pulling back right now. I'm starting to think I'm going next week up to Seattle, which is a 3-day drive that I do, every single year, with a whole brood. And I visit a bunch of, people in the industry, friends up there and family up there. So I'm already thinking about doing that. I got a week up there, so my head's over there a little bit. It doesn't serve my business any good to be doing that, but I mean, to a certain extent. The other part of it is, and I just went over some graphs a couple of days ago, if you look at properties days on the market, okay, so there's a graph that was put up by NAR, and the average days on the market. Okay, so average days are over here, and length of time is over here. So it started like in 2001, and it went up to 2017. And I shit you not, it went like this. So it was waving and just kept going up and down, up, just like this. Just almost perfect, right? Well, what was happening? Properties are on the market every year for the past 20 years, like in November, December, and January are the longest days on the market, okay? So of course it supports the narrative that people are nesting. I get it. The shortest days on the market are, June, July, August, because that's the hot season. I get it. But why not turn our chicken shit into chicken salad? And why not just say, okay, houses are on the market longer in the winter. That means the housing market slows, okay? So people aren't thinking about buying as much, even though I know a lot of you are in a hot market. It's Seattle people or Washington people, I get it. I'm up there all the time. However, okay, why don't we just start marketing to our real estate agents and have them market to their clients and say, hey, listen, if you're thinking of buying a house, this is the time to buy. I know it's a hot market and it's hard to get an offer in. But historically, over the past 40 years, properties are always going to be on the market longer this time than they are 6 months from now. So you think it's hard now, it's going to be super hard in 6 months. So this would be a great time to get off our ass and start looking at properties and writing offers. And that's a very compelling reason, and it happens to be a very true reason. Now think of it like this. Everybody has a New Year's resolution, okay? And they're all about one of 3 or 4 things, okay? So you're going to have a business resolution in January. Say, I'm going to buckle down. I'm going to start kicking ass in January. This is what I need to do. I'm going to engage all this technology. I'm going to go reach out to my real estate agent partners out there. This is what we do all the time, okay? So even if you do it, it takes 3 months to come around because the people that you met today, that you pre-qualified today, are going to start looking at houses and putting offers in, okay? Then you're going to have your 30 and your 45-day escrow. So the person you meet today, you're not closing them until January. Okay, I'm not talking about going in an offer today. The loans, the originations that you take today are the business that you're going to be doing on January 1 and thereafter. So if you really want to have a New Year's resolution, you need to get off your ass right now. Okay, so it makes sense. More days on the market, a great product, a great message to share with agents who you know, who call you preferred, who you know on the periphery, and those who don't know you yet. So these are all good reasons for you to leave your office today. Now, a couple of things here real quickly that I wanted just to bring up to you, and then, like I said, I'm going to keep it short today and tell you what we're going to get into next week. Okay. Now, if you're new, because I know we got a bunch of newbies on here, the first thing you do is you go into Listing Booster, you use the product. You just go through and you kick the proverbial tire of everything. You look at all the marketing pieces. Go into a real estate agent profile. Find out what all the fields are. Have the confidence to really understand what the product does. If you have any questions, call our team. Okay, fill out a ticket and call our team and say, hey, I just need a little brief kind of pick me up here on a couple of things here that I'm confused about. Call our team. You don't have to have a problem. You can just have a question, right? So make sure you have the confidence to answer any questions. Then you go out there and speak with the real estate agents. Now, for those of you online right now, if you have success in an office because you've gone through some of our other webinars, and we're going to get into these. These are the webinars on how you generate some of these gaudy list of leads like the Greg Peckmans of the world have. Okay, we're going to be using their strategies. Now, if you're one of those people and you have an agent or 2 agents where you've been implementing our systems, okay, because we're all about getting agents today, what I want you to do is I want you to go into the offices where you have these 2 or 3 agents who are doing a good job, and you got to go to that office manager or that small broker owner. Okay. And I want you to go to them and say, hey, I'd like to schedule 10, 15 minutes with you if I could. I don't want to waste your time, but I got something I want to run past you that I think might make you more successful. They might say yes then or schedule the time. But what I want you to do is I want you to bring your laptop or go ahead and print out how their agents are doing and say, all right, okay, so I've been working with Sally over here for the last 4 months. And in the last 4 months, you can see here on month 1, we got 9 leads, which is 9 more leads than we had before. And then month 2, we had 49 leads. And then month 3, we had 190 leads. So we've got 276 leads over here in 3 months. And we have systems where we're reaching out to these people so they just don't become numbers on paper. And we got Bob doing this here, and Bob's almost matching Sally. So you can see Bob's on month 2, and he's tracking better than Sally because we really got our act together and we know what we're doing. We have our systems in place. So I just think this is really good for your office. Because if I can do this with Sally and Bob, I bet I can do it with Jane, Sue, Dan, Mohammed, and Betty. Who stands out in that crowd? Okay. So So what we do is we want to go ahead and get all these other people, and we want them to look like this, but I'd like to actually do a training for your office. Is that okay? You know, and they can say yes or no. And I don't know if this is RESPA compliant or if they're going to allow you to do it or not. I'd like to say, you know what I'd like to do? If I could get the backing and support of you, we can get everybody on board. This only makes your office more successful. How about if we get like some sandwiches? I can go down to the local Togo's and get a bunch of sandwiches. We can sit around for a couple hours, and I can, get everybody signed up here. But I can show them the strategies, so we can start working these strategies together. Guys, there's not a single office manager in the country who's going to say no. Well, maybe there's one because they're really stupid, but there's no reason to say no because all you're doing is providing value, providing opportunity for the agents in that office. And remember, I told you the 20-60-20 rule, which is really the 80-10-10, 60-80-10-10 rule. 80 horrible, or 10% horrible, 10% pretty bad, 60% pretty good, 10% really good, 10% they're writing songs about and singing around campfires good. It's the same thing with everything. It's the same thing in your real estate offices. And that office manager wants nothing more than that agent who's got so much potential to get off their ass and finally start using it. So they will say yes to you. And then I want you to go to other offices, and I want you to do the same thing. Guys, think about this strategically. Go find that one office who's doing an ass-kicking job, or go find that one office, get one agent in there, and make sure that you're generating the leads for them, okay, to where it just stands out. Now you've got a working model to go to that office manager and say, I'd like to sit down with your entire office, okay? So that's what I want you to do, the first thing. The other thing that you can do is go to your local board. Mine's about 3 miles away. We speak at boards all the time here. They're constantly asking us to speak at boards. And it's not because of what we do for a living. It's just because we've spoke at the boards before, and they're always looking for content providers. Well, God, we don't have anybody this week. We've got 150, 200 agents showing up. We don't have anybody this week. You get your typical title company, if you've ever been to these things, which is vomit. You're going to get your home warranty people, which is even worse. Think of the people who speak at these like board things. They're horrible. They're all shitty. So what if you went in there with a great value proposition? Again, if this is your first time, I don't want to give it to you too much, but you can actually even pull out KeyBoom and show them how their listings are on an interactive property search portal on television. So you can bring a TV in there. I do it all the time. There's great opportunity with your boards. I don't want you to miss those. The third point I want to bring up is, and I'm going to leave it at this today and answer any questions, but I want you to start looking at FSBOs, and I want you to market FSBOs to your real estate agents, okay? Now, that seems counterintuitive because if there's one thing real estate agents hate, it's hard work. No, it's FSBOs, okay? Now, what a FSBOs are for sale by owners. Now, if you go into Listing Booster, we have all these great modules on working FSBOs. FSBOs are great in a lot of ways. Now, what happens is you put the signage up, you're posting the property, you're putting it on Facebook, you're putting it in different user groups, you're doing some of the marketing pieces. But how you end up working with a FSBO is you go to that person, you knock on their door and say, hey, this is Brian, my name is Brian Stevens here. Look, I know you're getting hit up by real estate agents. I'm not, I'm just a lender. But I can do something that's useful for both of us. I got this marketing platform, which will help market your property so you can close it quicker and at top dollar. I'm not looking for a commission. All I want to do is the people who are coming in here and thinking about buying your house, I want to pre-qualify them. It's great for you because now you know if you're dealing with somebody who can actually buy the house or not, and it's great for me because I'm going to pick up more business if they buy your house or they don't. Is this something that you'd be interested in doing? Kevin Bilberry, the person who really puts the architect of Listing Booster, all he did was FSBOs. He put together Listing Booster as a means of not having to work with or be reliant on real estate agents. That's the only reason he didn't. He didn't want to have to depend on somebody else for his own business. He wanted to go get it himself. Now, I said I want you to work with your real estate agents on this. How do you find the FSBOs? Okay? Well, you're not driving the neighborhoods all the time, yet your real estate agents are. They know where all the FSBOs are. So I want you to sit down with your real estate agents after you've got them in your system, you've worked with them for a couple of weeks, and I want you to go to those real estate agents and say, hey, whenever you see a FSBO, write down the address, write down the phone number, and text it to me or get it over to me, because I'm going to start marketing that thing for myself, okay? And then you're going to tell the real estate agent, hey, listen, here's why this is a good thing. First of all, I'm going to bring all this great marketing to this guy who's selling his house for sale by owner, okay? So he's going to like me. Now, there's a chance he's going to be able to sell his house on his own, or he's not going to be able to sell his house on his own. We don't know, okay? But in the event that he feels like he needs to list it with a real estate agent, I'm going to be right there next to this guy to refer you. Oh yeah, you should work with Sally. She's really great at this stuff. So you may stand to pick up a listing from this, whereas if you don't write that number down and don't send it to me, you have no chance of getting that listing. Now here's the other part. Everybody who I pre-qualify, they may or they may not buy this person's house. But I'm going to get these guys pre-qualified, and anybody who I get pre-qualified who can buy a house and doesn't buy his from the listing, I'm going to give it to you. So this is going to be a lead generating opportunity and a potential listing for you. And all you have to do is get me the property address and the phone number. Okay? And if you think about that from a real estate agent's perspective, would you do that or would you not do it? And the answer is, in fact, you would emphatically do it. Why wouldn't you? There's no downside for you not to. There's only upside for you to. And this gives you an opportunity to start adding FSBOs over into your Listing Booster account. And trust me on this one, guys. It's great. It's going to make real estate great again. Okay. Now, the third thing that I want you to consider is right now, since we had some new people in here, I wanted to go over the first part, work with the agents who you know, kind of know, don't know at all. Okay. Getting into real estate offices, identifying that one agent, making sure you're using some of our lead generation strategies to get one agent, high up in terms of their lead, so you can take that as proof of concept over to the office managers. So it gives you an opportunity to present on their weekly or their bi-weekly sales meetings in these offices. The third thing I want you to do when you're comfortable is go into your local boards. Say, I got a great product. We've got television. We've got all this great stuff here, and we don't sell leads off. It's a lead generation, not a lead buying platform. It's a value plus for agents who are using this. Here's some of the examples of people I'm working with. I'd like to speak at your board. Can we do this? It gets you in front of hundreds of agents who you don't know and who don't know you. Then I want you to talk with your agents about the FSBO proposition. But first, go into Listing Booster, look at all the training modules on For Sale by Owners, get acclimated with the process and what I just talked with you about, and then you want to go and present with your real estate agents. So these are items that you want to do today. Okay? Now, tomorrow, let me just make sure if it's down in the chat. We bounced around to a bunch of things. I'm going to do more in-depth the very first one for the people who said they just got here, and or this is their first webinar. Sign up for tomorrow's, and I thought we were going to put this in the chat. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get tomorrow's webinar, and immediately after we close this one down, I'm going to send you tomorrow's webinar. Again, if you've gone through it, you don't need to, but it's going to be your first one, how you get agents, and we're going to go in more detail over it. With that said, does anybody have any questions? Okay. So just remember, man, only good stuff happens when you go out there and do things. There's nothing bad that can happen. It's business as usual if you don't do anything. People aren't nesting, you're nesting. So do this today. You have time today. People are getting into that mode where they're slowing down. Start calling some of these agents. I had a guy, we had this strategy. It was kind of funny too. And it was probably 6 months ago. And he sent me a message. He goes, "Hey, Brian." He goes, "I made 2 phone calls." He goes, "I picked up 20 agents." And I called him up. I started laughing my ass off. I go, "What did you do?" He goes, "I actually thought about this, and I wasn't going to make any calls today." He goes, "But I figured I didn't really have a whole bunch going. Just got my account, so I called up a couple of agents. I got voicemails, didn't leave them. Called up another agent, and they didn't pick up. Called like my 4th agent. They picked up. I kind of told them a little bit about the system. They said, he said, "Well, okay, well, when can I sit down with you?" And she said, "Well, because I got a couple more people I need to speak with." He goes, and the agent told him, "Well, you're not going to need to talk to anybody else because this is exactly what we're looking for. We've got like 20 agents here, and we want you to come in. If it's what you say, to sign up the whole office." And his response to that agent was, "Well, I'm glad that we got through early because there's just limited space in this, so this might be a good opportunity. I got to make sure." He didn't have anybody in his system, and he's over there selling scarcity, which I thought was funny as hell. Again, but imagine if he didn't make that call. Imagine if he didn't. There's 20 agents. This is 6 months ago. It's 20 agents he's working with now. So nobody can come through the line and eat you. Find a way to do it today. Jump on with me tomorrow, and just get more. Just get the agents. Okay. With that said, we'll jump on next week, and then we're going to start going into some of the lead gen stuff. And if you've seen our lead gen stuff before, you're going to want to make sure you check in because we've got some different angles for you that are Really, really interesting. All right, guys. Thank you so much.